Hey guys, it's Dana and it's Tuesday and it's time. My camera just cut out. All right. Hey guys, it's Dana and it's Tuesday, so we're going to talk about money. And today I wanted to share with you some pitfalls and successes that my husband and I had the first year we were trying to get out of debt. All right, so this was a requested video from one of my subscribers. Thank you. I think this is a great idea for a video topic. And if you are just starting out on your journey of trying to get out of debt, whether you follow Dave Ramsey's baby steps or you don't, it can be challenging, to say the least, when you first get started. So I came up with 3 pitfalls / failures, if you want to call them, that my husband and I had that first year, and then also some 3 or 4 successes that we had throughout the first year. So if you are following Dave Ramsey's baby steps, then the very first step is to save up $1,000. So saving up that $1,000 can be hard for a lot of us, especially if you've never had that amount of money in your savings account before, then it can seem really difficult. But if you reach that $1,000 mark and you've hit baby step 1, then that usually is a huge success. It feels really good just to know that you got baby step 1 done. So I would say that that was the first success that we felt in that first year, was having our $1,000 emergency fund set up for the little emergencies. Obviously, that's not really a huge amount of money as an emergency fund, but when you're getting out of debt, the goal is to really throw as much money as possible at all of your debts to or the smallest debt. Everything else you pay the minimum payments on, but you're trying to pay off debt. So if you have a huge amount of money in your savings account, then that's not helping you pay off your debt. It's better to take that money and just dump it on your debt. All right, so that's success. The first success is saving up that $1,000. So the first pitfall or / failure that we had that first year was to not follow our budget. So when you set your budget, which you should have a budget, meaning that you are writing down on paper or in a spreadsheet like we do, what you're going to be doing with all of your money and sticking to it. Okay. So if you have a budget set and you just, blow the budget, like if you say we have X amount of dollars to go grocery shopping with this week and you end up spending more than that, then you're either not budgeting correctly or you're not listening, you're not agreeing, or you're not, what's the right word? You know what I mean? You're not following your budget. And that can be really hard. It actually can be hard when you first start with your budget to know how much money you need in each of the buckets, as far as grocery shopping, maybe clothes. It takes some finesse, it takes some practice to really get your budget to a point where you're able to be sure that each dollar amount in each item is correct, and then you're going to follow through with it. So that's a failure that I think a lot of us have in the beginning year. And for us, it actually took a full year to really get good with our budget. And this is the second pitfall, and that is to not create a budget for every month, a unique budget for every month. So that's what we did. I created a budget, and we had a budget, with our bills, and then, what was coming in, what was going out to the bills, and then about how much I thought we needed for food every week. And then that would be it. Like I didn't do a new one the next month. It just was like, oh, that's our budget. That's what we know we have to do. But every single month is different. So if you're in an Excel spreadsheet, you have to copy your tab and paste it in, create a new tab for every single month and then redo it. Because some months you might get an extra paycheck if you're a 2-income family, or 3, just how the month falls, you might be getting an extra paycheck in that month. And so you're going to have more money that month. Or some months you might have a quarterly payment due for trash or something. And so that you're going to have more bills that month that you need to account for. So you have to have a unique budget for every month. And then, like I said, it took us a full year of doing, this monthly budget to really be able to get a good flow with it. And then also to kind of like anticipate throughout the year what's going to be coming up if you have those quarterly payments and how you're going to handle them. So that first year, it's kind of trial and error with your budget or budgets every month to make sure that, to figure out, like I said, how much money you want to put towards certain items and then what's going to be coming up that you're going to have to pay. So it takes some practice. So if you're having a really hard time with budgeting and you're blowing your budget or you're fighting a lot with your partner about your budget, then try to go easy on yourself, give yourself some grace, and just realize it takes some time, it takes some practice to get really good with it. So it's going to take a little while, maybe a year. So let's talk about another success now. Throughout that first year, success was being current on our bills. And this was a really big deal for me because usually we have oil heat in our house. So usually when the year would come up, then I was always a couple months, or we were always a couple months behind, because it was just sort of like a monthly payment that we had, and I would just kind of get behind and complacent because they weren't like upset if we didn't pay it that month, but I knew we'd have to end up paying it in full by the end of the year. So if I let it go, then by the end of the year we'd have like a $800 bill, which was really big for us. We didn't just have $800 laying around. And so then in my past life, I would just use a credit card to pay off the oil bill. And so I knew I had several years of, oil bills on our credit cards. So when the first year, it was a huge success to get to the end of the year. And we just, because I'd been budgeting and we'd been, staying on top of everything, got to the end of the year and to not owe any money and to not have to use our credit card. We wouldn't be using our credit card ever again, but to get to the end of the year and know that we had stayed consistent with it that year, and that we didn't owe anything. So it was huge for me to get to that end of year mark and, get the statement and see we were up to date. And it felt so good. It felt really good. It was empowering. There is one sentence that I think is the most dangerous sentence for anyone to say, and it is, I deserve it. I don't like that sentence at all, and I've certainly said that sentence in my lifetime, and I think it is so dangerous because when you say, I deserve it, then if you think about all of the things that you've been blessed with in your life, it's as if you are saying to the universe that it's not enough, that you still need more, and that you are not grateful for all the amazing things that you have been given. And in our country, in the United States, so many of us have been given so many things that we really have mostly only wants and not needs. Most of our needs are met, if you really think about it. We just have wants. We always want a nicer kitchen, a nicer bathroom, a nicer yard. But what we have is what our needs are really fulfilled. We have a place to live and we have food. Maybe you want nicer food, but when you start getting into the I deserve it mentality in your brain, that's when a lot of us end up in debt, because then we start borrowing money to acquire those things that we feel that we want, that we feel that we need because we deserve it, but we don't need it, we just want it. And so we start borrowing money to have it. And so I think that the I deserve it is a really bad sentence. And so within that first year, I certainly found myself saying I deserve it or rationalizing purchasing certain things because we needed it, really didn't need it. So I had to work really hard, and my husband and I did too. We had to work really hard on breaking that habit and that mentality of I deserve it, because I don't care for that I deserve it. Like I said, I think that we've been given so many wonderful things, and it sort of is a slap in the face to those things that we've received when we are wanting for more than what we have. All right, so that's a pitfall, is the I deserve it sentence. Think about it. Are you saying it to yourself or to others? All right, so a success then in that year is not acquiring any new debt. So that is a huge success, to not be acquiring any new debt. If you saw one of my more recent videos, I was talking about how, you know, some of us don't have a lot of extra money to be putting towards the debt snowball, and we have to sort of maintain and just make sure we're not acquiring any new debt, and that we're just staying on, staying current with our bills. But we can't throw a lot of extra money towards the snowball of paying down debt. And sometimes you might just be in that point in your life, and you haven't started making more money, but you're working towards doing that, or what have you, or lowering your expenses. So just not acquiring any new debt in that first year, you should really pat yourself on the back for that, because we were so proud of ourselves that we had not acquired any new debt in the first year, even though I'd wanted to pay down more debt than we did that year, but I still felt like it was a huge accomplishment to not acquire any new debt. All right, so this can be a success or a pitfall, and it's staying motivated to continue on the journey, because you might be on the path to paying down your debt. You might be following the baby steps, and persistence is so key to continue to keep going and staying motivated. And I feel as if the enemy, if you want to, however you want to name it, is very persistent in trying to knock us off of our path, especially when we're trying to do a good thing for ourselves and for our family and for the universe. And so it's important that we stay persistent and keep on going and following the path, even when we are knocked down. So if you have to drain your emergency fund, then it's important to stay motivated, stay persistent, to build it back up. And I feel as if those, like, especially when you first start in that first year, when you first start doing anything, it's really hard. And sort of, Dave Ramsey calls it Murphy is gonna hit, So I just feel as if it is as if you're sort of being tested, and your resolve is being tested to see how serious are you about this. And you will get hit hard in the beginning, and you have to just keep at it. And so it can be a success that you keep on going and keep being persistent, or it can be a pitfall if you sort of fall back and say, oh, this isn't going to work, all these bad things are happening. So that's a struggle for that first year. And we certainly had some of those things happen in the very beginning, where I was like, oh my gosh, we just started this, I can't believe this is happening. And but I kind of a little bit in my mind knew, like, because this has happened with me with weight loss also. Like, I just feel like as soon as you start doing something and it's good, there's going to be like a little pushback, resistance, trying to knock you off that path. So stay persistent, stay motivated. Listen to the Dave Ramsey show every day if you can. Listen to other people talking about it, other YouTubers talking about it, if you, what have you, just try to stay motivated to keep pushing and keep going, because you will make it there eventually, but you have to keep at it, keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Like that to me is the secret of success, is when you just keep pushing. All right. Okay, so that's some pitfalls and successes that we had in the first year. I hope that is helpful to you in some way. If you would like to share some of your own pitfalls and successes that you experienced during your first year, or are experiencing, if it's your first year on this journey, then be sure to share it down below in the comments, because you never know, that really could help somebody reading the comments in their own journeys, whether that's today or in a year, or however long this video is alive on YouTube. And if it's your first time here, don't forget to subscribe. I'm here every single Tuesday talking all about money, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.